it's Martha of K&R Styles, and I was going to just go through because I know that someone is going to ask, how do you change and adapt a pattern? Because I mentioned that I was planning to take the pattern that I used in my video and I was going to recreate the neckline just a little differently so that it was a little bigger. So here's my pattern, and this is my neckline. I'm sorry, it's like really close. My hand may be in the way, but here is the neckline, and I need to bring it on down into here. I want to make it a little bigger, and probably, let me see if I can move this just a little more. So I'm probably wanting to bring it down into here as far as the neckline goes, and so that'll just add me a little more because it was such a tight neckline. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of put a little mark down here. But when I look at the neckline, because I have to take into account the collar or neckband rather, so I'm going to have to make sure that I keep track of my measurements for that. I don't want to change anything up here, because if I change something up here, I've got to change all of it, so the back pattern too. So I don't really want to do that. I just want to change where this neckline ends at, and I want it to kind of be at a little bit of an angle. So I have a couple of things here. I have a curve ruler, and I also have a ruler with me so that I can actually take a measurement. But I want this to kind of gradually come off from up here down to my mark down here, and that'll provide me with a little extra that I need. So I'm just going to draw in right here, and this right here. So what I'll do is when I cut, I'm just going to just follow this line that I just made down to here, okay? And this is now going to be my center point. But I took off a lot of this, so I want to really measure. And you can use a ruler if you're really good about doing that. Or if you have one of those flexi tapes. I'm actually going to use this right here, because my lovely round ruler is in centimeters, and I don't want to deal with centimeters. So I added on, let me follow my little line. About 4 inches. So I changed it up from 3 1/4. So this is the piece for the neckband. And it was at 3 1/4. Up to 4, so I added 3/4 on. So looking at 1 1/2. So I'm going to add 1 1/2 onto my neckband. And I can either do this with just taking the measurements here, measuring this, and then adding that on, like so. For example, this was about 5 1/2. 2 3/4. So that's 11. 2 3/4, and I'm going to add on 1.5 inches. So 12.5. So I will probably cut out my piece at 12.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So I will just cut out a piece that long, or if I really want to just kind of make a new pattern piece, I can. But I would just make a note to myself that, because I have another pattern that's the same way, that I just cut out a strip, which would probably be easier just with the rotary. But like I said, if you change something up, you have to change something else. So whenever you're altering a pattern, just make sure that what you're altering, if it's, like I said, if it's the neckline, I mean, you can do the neckline. I would avoid doing this because, like I said, if you start altering up here at the shoulder seams, you're going to have to change shoulder seams on both patterns, front and back. But just because I was altering the front neckline, I just wanted to work on the front piece. So, and then I'll post a picture later on Instagram to let you know how, and Facebook, to let you know how this works out. But I would just cut out this part just like so. And there's my new neckline for my shirt. So